Look, dealing with a bullying situation at school, it can feel chaotic, really overwhelming. So what we're going to do here is cut through all that noise. We're going to lay out a clear, calm strategy. This isn't about picking a fight. It's about learning how to advocate for yourself effectively to get the safety and well-being you deserve.
Before we jump into the actual steps, we have to start with this reality check. Schools are just complex places. They're big, they're busy, there are a lot of moving parts. They're systems, yeah, but they're systems made of people. Teachers, principals, counselors who, for the most part, really do care about their students. Understanding that helps us approach this whole thing strategically, instead of just emotionally.
So, while we should absolutely see teachers and the school itself as our partners in this, we also have to be realistic. The quality of their response, well, it can vary. Just because there's a great anti-bullying policy written down somewhere doesn't mean it's always going to play out perfectly in the hallways.
And this really gets to a critical point. This gap that can sometimes exist between the official policy and the day-to-day implementation. Organizations like UNICEF have frameworks that make it clear. Real safety isn't just about having good rules. It's about making sure those rules are consistently put into action. Our whole strategy is designed to help you bridge that gap. Okay, so that brings us to the heart of the strategy. A clear, step-by-step playbook for what to do when you need to report something. These are your first and, honestly, most important moves to make sure you're heard and that things are handled the right way. All right, step 1 is simple. Use the system the school already has. Find out what that official path is. Is it a specific teacher, a counselor, an online form? And use it. This shows you're trying to work with them, and it gives the adults a clear starting point. Then, right away, you move to step 2. And this is where you really take control of the situation.
This part is absolutely crucial. You have to write everything down and stick to the facts. Just answer these questions. What happened? When? Where? Who was involved? Has it happened before? Try to leave the emotional descriptions out of it. A clear, factual record is, without a doubt, the most powerful tool you have. It gives the adults trying to help you the exact information they need to actually do something. Okay. So, you've done your part. You followed the process, you documented the facts. Now what? Well, this next phase is a bit of a balancing act. It's about giving the school a reasonable amount of time to handle it, but also knowing when it's time to take the next step. Step 3 can be the hardest because it requires patience. Schools have procedures they have to follow, they need to interview people, they need to protect everyone's rights. That stuff takes time. But if you've given them that time and the problem is still happening, then it's time for step 4, escalation. Now let's be very, very clear about what we mean by escalation. This is not about being a snitch. It's not about betraying your teacher or your school. It is a calm, logical next step you take to advocate for your own safety. It's not disloyalty. It is protection. And escalation isn't just some vague threat. It follows very clear pathways. You can go to the school's governing board. You can go to the district-level education authorities. And if you believe your safety is genuinely at risk, you can contact official child protection services. These structures are there for a reason, and you have every right to use them. Now, we've talked a lot about process and procedure, but all of those steps, 1 through 4, they operate under one single, unbreakable rule that overrides everything else. And that rule is this: your safety comes first, always. We're calling this step 5, but really it's rule number 1. If at any point you feel that you are in danger, you do not need to wait, you don't need to fill out a form or send an email. You find a trusted adult. Any trusted adult, and you tell them what's going on immediately.
So what does feeling unsafe actually look like? Well, it can be any of these things. If you're being physically threatened, or if someone is blackmailing you, that is an absolute emergency. But you know what? So is being repeatedly and severely humiliated. Feeling emotionally unsafe is a completely valid and serious reason to get help right now. You have to trust that feeling.
I just want you to let this sink in for a moment. A school is required to provide a safe place for you to learn. You are not required to put up with harm while they get their act together. Your right to feel safe is non-negotiable. So when you pull all these pieces together, the process, the documentation, the unbreakable rule of safety, what does it create? It creates a mature, strategic perspective. The whole mindset here is about advocacy, not confrontation. We are not trying to win a fight. We're trying to fix a situation. And this chart shows the core difference.
Confrontation is all about assigning blame. It turns the school into an adversary and gets stuck on the problem. Advocacy is different. It aims for improvement. It sees the school as a potential partner, and it's always focused on finding solutions. That's the approach that actually creates lasting change.
Ultimately, that's really the main takeaway here. No system is ever going to be perfect, but almost any system can be improved when people bring their concerns forward in a clear, calm, and structured way. Your voice, when you use it strategically like this, is an incredibly powerful tool for making things better.
So as we finish up, I just want to leave you with this question to think about. Whether it's for yourself or maybe for a friend, think about this playbook. What is one clear, calm step that you can take right now to advocate for safety? Because taking that one small step, that's how it all begins.